My name is Kimberly, and I am the founder of MMIW Search and Help Alliance. Raise your hand if you know what MMIW stands for. So not a lot of hands raised. MMIW stands for Missing Murdered Indigenous Women. There's also MMIR, Missing Murdered Indigenous Relatives. MMIP, Missing Murdered Indigenous Peoples, and on it continues. So today I'm here to speak to you about that. So the Native people are disappearing at an alarming rate. Between systemic issues like addiction and domestic violence, they're going missing and murdered at a higher rate than any other demographic in the United States. That's a problem because there's only 9 million natives here in the United States, and there's 330 plus million Americans. That means that the Native people run the risk of being erased. I want to really let you guys soak that in for a second. How many of you know how the United States won World War II? Anybody? It was the language of the Dene, the Navajo people, the code talkers. The Japanese couldn't break the code. They tried other nations' languages, and they couldn't do it. So the Navajo did it. What happens when our generations are wiped out from the being missing and murdered? Who carries the languages then? Who carries the languages of the Pacific Northwest tribes? Who carries the languages of the tribes from all of our nations? There's 572 recognized tribes here in America federally. And if you were to divide what's left of the Native people left, it's about 20,000 per tribe. That's not a lot. And at the rate we're going missing, the women that give birth to future generations, without them, there are no future generations. We will cease to exist completely if we don't do something about our missing. Our organization, we search for the missing. Nothing is more sobering than searching for your own dead, because there's not enough resources, because the media continues to ignore us, because the police refuse to give us resources. So we have to go out there and search for our own dead. Soak that up too. So at the end of the day, I'm here to raise awareness, advocate for our people, bring justice for our families who have murdered loved ones and children. How many of you know about Emily Pike? Raise your hands. Let's talk about that for those of you who didn't. Emily Pike was 14 years old. She ran away from her group home to go home to her family. Someone picked her up, chopped her up, and put her pieces in a bag and dumped her on the side of a highway. They still haven't recovered her arms and her hands. But it's not just her it's happening to, it's many of us. I got 121 cases of missing Indigenous peoples in Washington alone. The list is over there on my table. There's 27 missing cases in Oregon. The list is over there on my table. Or you guys have Google. Go to missing persons in your state and then put in your filters for Native, Alaskan, Indian. And you'll find all the missing in every single state. It's devastating. And we are getting devastated. So if it's not from addiction, domestic violence, substandard education practices, how many of you wish we had better education for our Indigenous generations? How do we get that? We can't stay seated, we can't stay quiet, and we can't stay in the back. You can't keep walking by it like it doesn't exist and it's not happening. And the problem is we're having problems bridging gaps between the native and non-native culture. It's tough, but it has to be done because sometimes non-native culture doesn't understand that. They see the signs but to them it's just a sign. To us, it's we have to protect our generations before we disappear. So, to wrap it up, stop by the table, please. Look at the missing. Grab some free educational resources. If you don't want to stop there, get on Google. All I can try and do is continue to raise awareness, not just for the future generations, but for a people disappearing. Thank you.